Hey, what is going on, IK Familia? It is your boy BN, aka Mr. Kingdom Builder, and today we are back again for arguably the dopest of the dope sauce videos. Yes, finally we are returning with our best in game-wide stats in multiple categories. Today we're going to be taking a look at the top 25 servers. This is from a group pool of server 1 through server 80 where we had pulled these stats from. Now again, this is also from the top 6 alliances where we take a sum total and we break down their individual power as well, along with some very interesting stats that we're now able to pull comparatively, which could be some of the fancy numbers that you're seeing on the screen. Only reason I didn't want to remove them is because I love the color coding. Now, of course, before we get started, make sure you guys sub, like, ring that notification bell. And of course, if you want to be a part of our conversation, you can join our Discord, which you'll find in the pinned comment or description down below. I should say, and description down below. All right, without further ado, here we go. And this is going to be a big one because I have to give one of the biggest shout outs along with hopefully some players after we announce one of the kingdoms here will potentially take it with like, you know what? Maybe boss does really know what he's doing, right? For some of the potential non-believers. But okay, without further ado, here we go. We're going to be taking a look at number 25. This is going to be Server 72. They are a newcomer to the top 25 list, bringing their total power for top 6 at 423 mil, 640, 936,000. All right. Or I guess that's 423,000. No, 423 mil, 640,000. I'm just going to say the number so we don't get confused. Okay, now we got another newcomer, and this is going to be at the number 24 position. This is Server 65. Welcome aboard. 425 million, 431,366 for their combined top 6. All right, now we have another server coming in at number 23, and you can see here some of the interesting... Oh, did I just do that again? Oh gosh, here we go. Got to hit the reset. Server 34. Now, I also added in some of these unique stats that we're also going to break down. Again, I'm going to name some while we go, if not maybe all. But the range here, right, is what we categorized as the in-between from the strongest alliance to the number 6 alliance. So you can see here the range for 72 is 83.4 mil, right? Pretty high. 99.8, 109.4 here for server 34. That's pretty high. Now, server 34 in the current 23 position used to be in the number 11 position. That's why it says down 11 here. And then from where their power was currently when we last did this check back in late October from 2021, right? They have, you would imagine over that period of time from now until right mid-January that we're in, right? You have to think we've gone through November and December. That's at least 2.5 months that we've gone from when we did the last data pool to now, right? You would hope that you would be increasing power overall. This is probably an indication that players have been leaving the server. However many it may be, right, is they are negative 37.8. That means they are down in power from now compared to where they were 2.5 months ago. And there obviously could be other factors as well. Players just slowing down playing. Maybe there's something happened there on the server, right? Again, whether it's players leaving, fights breaking out, something there is stalling progression, right? That essentially is what that means when we see a negative number like that, comparatively when we see positive numbers. Okay, now let's go ahead and look at this. So we have the number 22 ranked alliance currently is going to be server 23. Right now, server 23 at 434,945,758 power. Right, they are the current number 22. They used to be number 8. Right, they have dropped 53.8 million power from where they were 2.5 months ago. Right, that I think it's the biggest negative drop that we have from an alliance, from a server so far within the top 25 list. But again, respectively, they're still number 22. Okay, now we get into number 21. This is server 48. They used to be ranked number 10 from the data we pulled in October of 2021. They have lost they're down 30.9 mil power from where they were 2.5 months ago. But again, 439,777,609, again, still respectively at number 21. Then we have our third newcomer, which is coming in at position 20. Breaking into the top 20, that's server 66. Welcome. 446,809,612. Right, there we go for those newcomers. Breaking into the top 20 now, we have number 19. This is server 46 at 448,946,992. They used to be ranked number 9. Their range here is 134.3 mil, right? You can even see a trend here for the last 4 that we looked at, all right around 100, 110 between for the range from the 6th place alliance right to the 1st. And you'll see as we go up higher, right, some of these numbers are getting a little bit closer, which, again, for me, I always feel is a solid kind of indication of partial balance that this interprets to. But again, we'll talk about that as we keep going up the boards. So here, they used to be ranked number 9, right now number 19, down negative 32.6 mil from where they were 2.5 months ago. Now we have 2 newcomers here at 18 and 17. Let's go ahead and give a big round of applause to server 78. Also shout out to 78 because they were in our KVK as well. So again, awesome to see them new on the boards. Now we have the number 17 ranked alliance or ranked server in the game, which is server 75, coincidentally also in our KVK group for the trial season. Welcome. They're at 460 mil, 78 454 mil. All right, here we go. Number 16 that we're looking at now is server 54. Now they're up. They used to be in position 22, so they've slotted up. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I can do math correctly, we'll go with 6 spots up. They are also a plus 33.4 mil from where they were 2.5 months ago. So awesome to see some servers climbing up the boards. Speaking of another, here we go in the number 15 position for 15th strongest server in the game, server 49 at 472,207,999. They are up. Used to be previously 18. They moved up 3 spots, and they also have a plus 20.7 mil increase from their top 6 overall as of 2.5 months ago. Now we get to number 14, thoroughly breaking into the top 15, and here we go. Number 26, or server 26, at 480,760,053. They are down from 14th, though, right? So they're currently, actually, this is even, right? Where am I looking at? 14, that's 47. This is 26. Oh, God, did I get this one wrong? Where were they before? 26? Oh, gosh. Oh, that's what it was. They were previously number 12. I just can't type. So there we go. Previously of number 12. In that case, now they're 14. Yes, so down 2 spots. But bear in mind, they are still plus 18.1 mil, even though they've dropped down 2 spots. So again, still seeing some influx there and growth from the server. Okay, now let's take a look at number 13. So here we go. This is server 33. Coming in at 488,029,859. They are down. Previously, they were ranked number 6, and they have a negative 19.8 mil growth loss from 2.5 months ago. Coincidentally, server 26 has a 153.6 mil range gap. That is from the number 6 alliance up to the number 1 alliance, right? I think they have the largest gap that we've seen so far, or that we will see so far. Here we go with another new addition coming in at number 12. They are server 71. Welcome. Just actually outside the group before us at 494,460,415. Welcome to the top 25 list. All right, here we go. Number 11, server 28. Again, pretty high range at 136.4 mil. They used to be ranked number 5 on this list. They're down from that. Negative 15.8 mil overall server growth for their top 6 as of 2.5 months ago. Now, number 10, the next newest. So I think we actually have a good amount of new here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now here's the 7, 8, 9, right? So here's the 7th newest server on the top 25 list, which is server 74, also in our KVK group. This is the 3rd server now from our trial season KVK group that has made it into top 25. Again, range 83 mil, so a little bit lower than some of the other ones that we've seen. Bear in mind, the lowest one we have so far is actually 83 mil. The previous one was the number 25 at server 72, one server before our KVK group, right? So 83 mil is the lowest range that we have so far. There's going to be some interesting stats. I'm going to share some after we get through all the way. But again, welcome server 74. All right. Here we go now. Finally, breaking in past the top 10, we are at the number 9 strongest server in the game, and this is server 52. 532 mil for them. Again, they are up. They used to be ranked 16, so they actually moved up 7 spots, and they have a plus 79.8 mil server growth from 2.5 months ago. That's the largest so far that we've seen. Oh my god. Whew. Couldn't tell if that was just a deep internal yawn or a blurp. I'm not sure. Okay, here we go. The number 8 strongest server in the game is going to be server 79. And yes, I have a big smile on my face. We're going to come back to this in a moment. But 538 mil, again, their range, 47.9 mil. I want to say they might have the lowest or the closest power gap for their top 6 alliances. Again, we will come back. All right, now we get to number 7 here on the board, which for them is server 45 at 569 mil. We're seeing a range of 91.5, so respectable, under the 100. They are up from position 20. They moved up 13 spots, and they're seeing a 126.5 mil server growth, which is the second largest that we're going to show off, right? So congrats to 45. Put it in that work, homie. I love it. All right. Now, number 6 strongest server in the game. This is server 16. Again, 557 mil, they are down. Previously, were ranked number 4. They've only gone down 2 spots, but they are negative 22.2 mil on their overall server growth. Now, getting into the top 5 now. For strongest servers in the game, we have server 40. 558 mil, only about 1.8, right? So near 2 from number 6. They are up. Previously from number 7, they moved up 2 spots, and they're also seeing a plus 54.6 mil server growth. That's pretty good and respectable. Their range is 84.6, right? They tie for a tie. They're close to right the bottom 4, right? Closest range when it comes to grouping. For their top 6 alliances. Now we get to the number 4 strongest server in the game. This is server 6, and they are at 613 mil. They are down. Previously ranked number 2. Right, so they're only number 5, only lost 2 positions. They're negative 39.2 mil on their overall server growth from 2.5 months ago. Now we get to the newest server here at the highest position from top 25, making their first appearance is server 57. Shout out to 57. Again, at their range is 105 mil. Now, for those of you who may not know, a little side story here is that the BXS and Top group, along with a few others, have actually gone to 57, which is why they're seeing a new and yet highest entry for a new server into the top 25, right? So again, not necessarily, I don't really know how to frame that overall. What I would say, you know what? I will just say that because I didn't really know where I was going with that, as I thought I was going to have an additional thought, but we will forego. All right, number 2 now for the strongest server in the game, which is going to be server 8, right? Finally getting dethroned, right? Because they were the strongest server in the game for what I think the past 3 cycles that we've done, but they're at 693 mil, right? Again, only down 1 spot. They're still seeing a plus growth, though, of 38 mil overall, right? So again, still respectable growth, even though losing 1 position and still doing well. All right, now we get to the number 1 strongest server in the game, finally dethroning server 8, which is server 38. Big shout out. Get it, girl. Get it. And I mean, some boys. There might be some guys that play there, too. Who knows? All right. 788 mil on their total power, right? This is, gosh, I got to do some math here. What is that? 795, almost 100 mil, right? Above for their top 6, right? They're also, what I will say, respectively, at a 54.2 mil range differential from the number 6 alliance to the number 1, right? They're up. They used to be ranked number 3. They have seen the largest growth at plus 189.6 mil, right, from their previous data entry as of 2.5 months ago. That is bonkers, right? Fantastic growth, big ups and congrats. Awesome to see a low power range as well, right? A lot of people know how big I am on that because I think that it really shows server health beyond just having a total power or having the largest power number. Now, where am I at? About 14 and a half minutes. Okay, this is where it gets now to kind of the shout-outs part, a little bit of interest that I want to take in here for what I feel is arguably right one of the biggest standouts from all the data here. And yes, it is going to be going to my boys here and ladies, of course, from server 79, right? My previous home that I had built with the vision initially of wanting to build something different than pretty much all the other servers that are currently out and in existence in 79 thus far, and also I should add to our knowledge. Now, there's a few big standouts here, right? Number one is that server 79 is the oldest server, right, as high up on the list as they are, and I think they're the oldest server right now from the group pool, right? From servers 1 through 80, they are the oldest server, right? The highest on the list, right? Which is number 8. Bear in mind, this number that you see here, right, actually could have been higher, a little bit higher, but also really did not meet the full potential for how high this number could be, and respectively, for how high 79's position could have been on this board. I had no doubt in my mind that 79 was going to break into the top 25. Right? Remember, for those who may not know, 79 essentially is my baby, just like server 8 was my baby, right? At this moment in time, right, prior to me leaving 8, right, there was a lot of recruitment and promotion that I did for server 8 prior to leaving that factored into a healthy and good foundation for the amount of migrants that initially had come over, right? Majority of the work. And again, thankfully to others as well who picked up that mantle afterwards. The same thing could be said about 79, right? The majority of the recruitment work, right? Not all of it, but the majority of the recruitment work was done by me. And again, I still, of course, as I always have, give a shout out to the people that did help out and contribute. But even if we just take aside the YouTube promotion that I did, right, for the server, we're talking about, Discord ads. We're talking about finding leads and players, whether it's on Discord, it's on Reddit, it's on Facebook, in addition to messaging players in game, right? And arguably probably the biggest factor that really goes into recruitment is conversion, right? You can have the best ad out there. You can have the best in-game message that you send out, right? But you need to be able to convert people over, right? All a recruiting message does is get people to the door, right? Or get people to walk in, right? What you conversate with them, how you discuss, how you communicate with them after they get in the door is what gets them to stay, right? Again, anyone can go out there and go knock on doors to try and sell a newspaper, right? Because knocking on the door is the equivalent of someone coming and answering it as much as you sending the messages, right, for them going. But the conversion, right, the selling people to come over, that is what is by far, in my opinion, right, the over the hill hump, right? That's like the 51% of it, or 99% depending on how you want to gauge it. But even with that being said, right, again, always appreciative to the people that did help and contribute to recruiting in any of the servers that I have been in. But I do think it is now a consistency that cannot be disregarded, right, or degraded. That as of right now, right, even though I started playing in server 6 just with one alliance, right, and I had great conversations with people there, I would not necessarily attribute fully, right, maybe a very small portion, but nothing to the majority of how server 6 has been able to build, right, for the amount of time I was there. Even though I had great conversations with people, server 8 and server 79 at this point have really been my baby, right? These were the servers that I built the foundation for. I had to start out with a vision, an idea, right? I had to come up with goals, policies, how we were going to do communication, doing town hall meetings, literally all the wording and everything pretty much for the majority, if not all, right? I had to set that out in the beginning before players, before leaders applied, before officers applied, before people even cared to join the project, right, that I built, right? Rightfully so. And it's because of the players that joined, that believed in that, right, that trusted me to make those good decisions for the server in the best interest of the players, is a big chunk, and definitely more so for 79 than for 8 now, because 8 has been going and continuing and thriving, I should say, right, even after I left. But these were two servers that a foundation was established and built upon the vision that I had and the trust and belief and faith in the players and those management teams that they had in me, right, to engage, to commit, and to want to be a part of that. And so when you see 79 as high up on the boards as they are, even though I could guarantee you they could have been higher, and also you see them having the lowest, right? Let me hammer that home. The lowest power range gap from number 6 to number 1. This is a big chunk of what signifies, in my opinion, a healthy server. Why is that? Because the more players that feel as though their alliance power range is closer means that they will also feel like they are able to contribute and actually have a chance of winning and friendly and having quality friendly competition with other alliances. Because if you have alliances that are close in power to each other, the majority of the players are going to see how that plays out in AVA types events in games and think to themselves, wow, we can really compete. We're not too far away in power. We actually have a chance to win these events. Comparatively, when you have alliances that are half of the power, a third, a quarter of the power less, right, and you see higher ranked alliances consistently winning AVA types events, that can be disheartening. And that is a part of the game that some players love to do. They love that friendly competition when you're doing it internally within your server. And so that is why, again, that's a portion. I'm not going to super dive deep into that, but that's a portion of why I have always believed that having alliances close in power range is such a healthy factor for longevity and sustainability, right, within servers. So again, I want to give a big shout out to 79, and I think it's pretty evident now that, you know, when you're a part of one of my projects, right, we build for greatness, right? We build in a way, and remember, this is one way. It is not the way, it is not the only way, it is one way that servers can be built. But I would say at this point, right, again, when servers are able to thrive and to develop, right, I would say at this point I'm 2 for 2. Which is fantastic. 2 for 1 overall, unfortunately, just because my vision, again, when it comes to the vision, unfortunately just did not work out for 36, given the constant warring that happened there. Some of the internal family betrayals, which, again, will be a story for another time, potentially. But I still love the fact that we are seeing, or at least that I can see, 2 servers that I poured my heart and soul into, and my passion and my love into, within the top 8 on the top 25 strongest servers list for this month of 2022. That is it for me. I hope you guys, as always, enjoy these stat breakdowns. And again, I know we added 3 new areas here as well on the right that you're seeing. And I'm going to try and keep this up along with possibly mixing in some other data, some other interesting data stats. And again, let me know what you guys think. Are you surprised to see that there's 9 new servers on this list? Are you surprised to see by some of the servers that dropped, that increased? Are you surprised by maybe some of the negative or potentially high positive overall power growth from 2.5 months ago? Let me know anything and everything you guys are thinking in those comments down below. That is it for me. Until next time, we'll catch y'all later.